Good morning, grade 2. Welcome to today's English class. This week we're going to read a new lesson, lesson 23, The Goat and the Rock. And there are two very important learning objectives that are associated with this lesson. In this presentation, I will teach you how to draw conclusions, and I will also teach you how to summarize text. Now, before we get started, I want you to note that there is a document attached with the post on the wall. And there's also a lesson video clip that you can listen to and read aloud with it. Now, within the document, you will find the vocabulary and context that is associated with this lesson. You will find information on the genre. You'll find information on the author and the illustrator of this lesson. And you will also find the lesson summary, which is very important because this will further help you summarize the text in your own words. So please go through the document. It's attached alongside the post. Now, let's get started with the first subjective. And in order to do that, we're going to read and comprehend. Now, the first task is to draw a conclusion. And I want you to know that in order to achieve this target skill, all what you need to do is make a smart guess. Use some prior knowledge, look for details within a picture if you're given a picture, or if you're given a text, look for details, record those details, and draw a conclusion based on those details. The second thing is target strategy, where you will learn how to summarize a text. You will learn how to read, stop, and think. This is called active reading, and this skill requires a lot of practice, and it's the best way to summarize a text. You scan and skim through the text using your eyes and your brain. I'll show you how that's done in a short while. So first, let's start with task 1, which is drawing conclusions. And then further from there, I will take you to task 2, which is summarizing the text. Let's get started. So how can you draw a conclusion? Within the document, I'm asking you to look at this picture, and I have posed a question after posting this picture. And the question that I'm asking you is, why does Geraldine feel silly after Glenmay clips her wool? Geraldine is the sheep, Glenmay is the friend or the owner of this sheep. And I've given you this picture, and there's some text as well. This can be found in the document. Please go through the document. So that's a sheep. In the first picture, you can see that it's covered with wool. So, and then the second picture, it's shared off its wool. So I can just use some common sense and some prior knowledge that probably when all this wool is taken off the sheep, it will feel much lighter. It might just feel a bit strange and a little weird because it's so used to have all that wool on its body, and all that covering is being taken away. It might just feel a bit like, oh, where's all that wool gone? So it's not used to of it and might just find it a bit awkward. And on the same hand, I do know that the sheep is going to feel pretty cool about it because, there's a lot of weight, and wool acts like an insulator on the body of this sheep. So when it's taken off, it might just feel a bit naked, silly, lighter, much lighter. Just like a person full of hair on his head, and then suddenly this person decides to shave. How will they feel? They'll feel a bit weird. They'll feel a bit strange, and they'll definitely feel lighter because all that weight of the hair is gone, and they'll feel cooler as well. So that's some prior knowledge that I have about a sheep that gets shared. And besides that, I'm going to look for clues within the text. So this is the text that I have given you. It's present in the document. And this is what readers do in order to make an inference or draw a conclusion. They try using clues from the text and what they know from previous experiences. The conclusion is reached after thinking about details and facts. So this is the text that I've given you, and I have circled this sentence here and a bit of this sentence right here, and I've underlined these words right there. I'm trying to look for details within the text and some prior knowledge, and I want to come to a conclusion for the question, why does Geraldine feel silly after Glenmay clips off its wool? So I think I can pose an answer to that question and come to a conclusion that the sheep felt silly because it lost all its body covering wool and was used to of all that weight of wool that covered its body. But it also felt light and cool after being shared. So that's a sample answer. That's my conclusion to the question that I posed. Now you can play around with the words. You can take off a few things. You can simplify these sentences if you want to, and come up with your own conclusion to the question that I've asked you. So I hope that was easy. Drawing conclusions, look for details, and then just come about with a conclusion based on your prior knowledge and details from the text. Now, let's come to task 2. Now, here I will teach you how to summarize the text that you've read. Now, within the document, I have given you a few lines. I've bolded these lines here because this comes as a bit of a challenge for some of you summarizing text because there's so much information, and I know that most of you struggle as to what details do I leave and what key points do I retain as I summarize it in my own words. Now, I just need a few lines, and I want you to scan and skim, and I'll show you how that's done and come up with only the most important words. We need to keep it short, we need to keep it precise, we need to keep it crisp, okay? And I've given you these sentences right here as a sample. All what you need to do is fill in these blanks. So let me read this for you. This story is about a goat named, so you're gonna put the name of the goat, who is telling what happens when her friend, you put the name of the friend, decides to, what did the friend decide to do to the sheep? Clip off its wool, make a rug, anything you want to write, just a few words, just a few key points. Now here are the steps in order. First, Glenmay, what did Glenmay do first? Then what did she do? And then next, and at last, what does Glenmay do? Now, what I'm going to do is that I am going to show you the lesson summary. But before I do that, let's go through some very important things as to how you should be summarizing the text, okay? Look for key information. What's the key information here? Glenmay wanted to make a rug. She wanted to weave a rug, right? That's the key information. Then look at each paragraph and look at the topic sentence. That's usually the first one. So as you're skimming through the document, scanning through the document using your eyes and your mind, I'd recommend that never leave out the first sentence. It's called a topic sentence. And that's where you decide what the main point of that particular paragraph is. So the first sentence is usually very important. And then rest, you can just scan through the details, omit them, do not include them in your summary. Again, list those key points and shorten down the main ideas and just summarize it in your own words. I'll show you how you're going to do that. And for this task, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this lesson summary. Now, this is, again, present in the document that is attached. Please go through this through the document. You'll find the summary over there. So let's look for the details. And remember, the first sentence of any given paragraph is where the main ideas are. Yeah, remember that. So just do read through them, and then rest you can go real fast. I'll show you how to skim and scan through the document. So look for clues and main ideas only. There you go. So first of all, this is the topic sentence. Geraldine lived with her Navajo friend Glenmay. So I got the name of the sheep, Geraldine, got the name of the friend Glenmay in the very first sentence. Great. Now, what did Glenmay wanted to do? She wanted to use Geraldine's wool to weave a rug. There you go. This is what she wanted to do. That's the main idea. Now, after sharpening a pair of scissors, Glenmay started clipping off Geraldine's wool in long strands. Now, I'm going to omit all this detail here, this irrelevant detail, and I'll just take the word clip. So, first, she clips Geraldine's wool, and she washes the wool. So that's going to be my first. First, she clips and wash Geraldine's wool. That's your first step. When the wool was dry, Glenmay used a comb to straighten the fibers. Then Glenmay started spinning the wool to make a yarn. Now, over here, again, all of this is irrelevant detail. I'm just going to use this sentence. It's like short, precise, just what I want for my next sentence. Then she started spinning the wool to make a yarn. So I have converted this sentence in my own words, and I've left out all this detail. I don't want to include that. So first she clips and washed the wool. Then she started spinning the wool to make a yarn, or you can just simply write, then she spinned the wool to make a yarn. You want to make it even shorter? Please do so. All right, now why did I jump all the way here? Let me show you why. Let me just scan through this. She twisted and pulled the wool into fine, smooth yarn. Later, Glenmay and Geraldine went on a walk. All irrelevant details, I don't need that. Glenmay picked special plants to make a dye. Geraldine ate the plants. She thought they tasted delicious. Again, I don't want that detail. So Glenmay bought some dye at store. All right. Glenmay boiled the dye. Then she started dipping the yarn in the dye. All right. She gave the yarn beautiful color. So all of this is detail that I want to omit, and this is my sentence here. That's the key point here. This is the clue that I want. This is the key point that I want to include in my next sentence. Next, she gave the yarn beautiful colors, or you can say, you can write it like this. She dyed the yarn into beautiful colors, and she started weaving. So again, I'm not going to give in all of this detail, how she did that. How did she wrap some yarn around the two pools? I'm going to scan through these words and simply jump onto this started weaving. So there you go. Next, she colored the yarn into beautiful colors and started weaving. Short, simple, precise. And at last, the rug was finished. Here, this sentence is the last sentence I'm going to pick up. I can use that into my own words. So I'm going to write it like this. At last, she made a beautiful rug. There you go. Simple, right? Super duper easy. So that's how you summarize a text. All right, guys, so best of luck. It's time for you to check your understanding. Please go to the post. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. Ramadan Kareem, grade 2.